What up, everyone? This episode has been brought to you by Jamhits. Jamhits is a one-stop shop for all of your multimedia needs, whether you're an artist in need of some studio time, recording a music video, if you're in need of printing out some artwork for your upcoming album, show, or merch, Jamhits is the place for you. We also have many different podcasts and radio shows in which you can promote yourself in the confines of our state-of-the-art studio. I guarantee you, once again, Jamhits is the place for you, so go give them a follow on Instagram. This is for all of my sneakerheads out there. I get all of my sneakers from one place, and that is Inland Empire Sneakers. Are you tired of paying those extra fees on certain websites? Are you tired of missing the beat on the latest drops? Are you tired of your shoe plug being outrageously overpriced? Well, if you answered yes to any of those questions, go give Inland Empire Sneakers a try. That's my primo, and let him know that Santi sent you. Once again, Inland Empire Sneakers on Instagram. Go give them a DM, go follow them, and for an extra discount, let them know your boy Santi sent you. What up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of Santi's Section. Thank you for tuning in. And my guest here, he's an entrepreneur, a music producer, an event coordinator, an activist. He's the co-founder of 86 Inka and Lighter Fluid LA, along with being a huge contributor to our community and our cultura. He's my homie, he's my carnal, Audio P.
What's up, Santi?
What's up, how you doing?
I'm good. I'm
Yeah.
glad I'm here. Appreciate it. Definitely honored to be considered to be on the platform, and you're a voice for the raza, and that's why we're here.
Thanks, brother. That means a lot. And yeah, like sometimes I wish, like with someone like yourself, that I had like a camera with me all the time, because you and I have some like deep conversations. I'm like, damn, this could have been like you and I have already had a couple podcast episodes. I feel like
Right? Yeah. There's certain people, you could you have chemistry and you could speak about certain things, and it's like natural, it's easy. So I think that's why we've already, like, right when we started linking up, even through IG first, and then we met, like it was cool. It was already good energy, and so that's kind of like the type of links that naturally evolve into some dope. You create something with it.
It does.
Yeah.
The first time what got me to follow you was I remember I had on my past podcast, I had Ryan Solar.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
I had him on there, and we were going down the list of, like, our goats and all of that, and he brought up, like, bro, he's all like, imagine if Aspect the Aztec were to be like in the 90s, right? He's all, he would have blown up. He would have been like a goat right now. He's the one that turned me in, like, onto him. And that's when I looked up Aspect the Aztec, and then I remember I seen you guys performing together, and then that's when I started following you. So shout out to Ryan Soul for that one.
Ryan Soul, shout out Ryan Soul. He's a dope cat. He supports, and he's been out to see Aspect and I perform. Real dope dude, and he's right about Aspect. I mean, he harnesses that real 90s hip hop era into the modern era, but he's he's a hip hop beast.
Yeah, he is, bro. He is. When it comes down to like raw MCs and lyricism and things like that, from cats that I've spoke with, like, I'm like, damn, he's up there. Like, homeboy is full of talent.
Completely. I mean, that's why we have 2 albums together.
Yeah.
The first time I ever seen a video, him and Scanless, another Linwood cat. He killed it, I was like, man, who is this cat? Like, boom, I gotta hit him up. I posted this video on 86 Inka, and I hit him up, like, man, you're dope, this and that. Let me send you some beats, boom, boom, boom. Right away, the first beat I sent him, he loved it. It was Santo Muerto, the first single from the 86 Inka album, the first album, or the second single, but boom, like, from then, like, it just flourished into a dope duo, and like me, I love to show love and give people their props, so I gave him his props right away when I saw him. His music video, and we just flourished into a dope partnership.
Yeah, bro.
He's raw.
And the albums they've done together is Pirámides del Sol and Templo Mayor. For those of you that are curious to see what we're talking about, go give it a listen. It's on all streaming platforms. But like, hands down, even the other day when we were hanging out, I was like, damn, homeboy is just a natural.
No, that's why it's an honor for me to right there to hype man, because they're my beats, I just hype man in the back, but he does his thing. he's a murderer. You know, like he's imposing. He's what an MC should be. You know, commands the stage, the mic, and he's just spitting bar work. You know, just bars and seeing it come from raza, you know, Chicano, like man, like we have that in us, you know, in our ranks, like
exactly
that type of talent.
Yeah, and how with that being said, like how big are you on like when you're producing an artist? I mean, how many artists have you produced?
I mean, I probably have music with probably 10 different artists, just like one-off tracks that were on the 86 Inka album, and just other like loose tracks, you know. But he's the only one that we have I have projects with. Yeah, yeah, it's that fully duo. It's basically just him, the main one I worked with.
Yeah. So when you put your, because I went down the list of things that you do that you're a part of. When you put your producer hat on, like how stressful is it?
I mean, it's not too stressful because I'm just picky with who I work with, because I don't even push my artistry that much as far as a producer. So it's like if I want to do it with somebody, work with an artist, I kind of already know who I'm gonna like. Okay, it's worth putting my time into this one. So as far as making the beats, like that's chill, that's easy. I like to work alone, you know, like making beats. I don't really go in studios and like let's create something together. Like nah, I like to already have the beats ready. Here's some beats, boom. You fuck with them, cool. Let's either get in the studio together or you record it, send it back. Or, you know, restructure the beat, work it around the verses. But it's not stressful, especially when working with Aspect. That's the easiest thing ever. Send them the music, writes to it, has a verse already, you know, records it. We meet at the studio, or he does it on his own, and boom, sends it back. Do what I gotta do. So it's just fun, you know. And being a producer, when I do that, it's not too stressful at all.
Yeah. And initially, like when you first started getting into music, was that your intention right off the bat? Like, man, I want to make beats, or?
So first I started rapping when I was like 16, 17. That was because I was already writing poetry when I was a kid. Yeah. But I started rapping, and, you know, like a few years into it, I started making beats. And I was like, I don't really have the energy to want to be a face out there. Like, me, look at me, I'm the rapper. No. I was like, I'd rather make the beats, and I just fell in love with making beats, and then I started just promoting artists. But yeah, being an MC led to making beats, and then not wanting to be an MC and just focusing on beats. You know,
I think it's safe to say that all of us try to be an MC at one point.
Right. Hey, when you love hip hop, it's kind of naturally that you go into that somehow. If you're into lyricism, especially if you're into real hip hop, you naturally kind of flow into wanting to rap. You know.
So now that you touched on that, bro, like I too am a hip hop head, you know, and we've hung out a lot. I mean, we've hung out for long periods of time when we haven't. I feel like that's something that we've never really touched on. So when it comes down to like lyricism, let's start with like the MCs, of course, or rappers. What are like your top, let's say your top 5, or what's in your daily rotation?
So let me see. I'll keep it. Want the underground or the top mixed up?
You can mix them in. I mix mine in.
Okay, yeah. So I mean, Dilated Peoples, Evidence. You know, to me, he's one of the kings of this hip hop shit. You know, and he doesn't get enough recognition sometimes from above the underground. You know, Dilated Peoples, they were signed to Capitol Records. They were on major labels doing it big. You know, in the late '90s, early 2000s, and still kept dropping music. And then go down a little more underground, Viva Mezcal. You know, that's my brother, that's my boy. Yeah. I think he really represents the raza that, you know, that we're not like, you don't have to be cholo to be raza, you know what I mean? To be dope and like, because that represents the majority of Chicano kids. We grew up either doing graphs, skating, playing sports, everything else. Even if we were around the streets and all that, sometimes we weren't really affiliated, you know? So I feel he represents hip hop in the way that, you know, I like to consume it. So Viva Mezcal, I like to kind of, you know, say he's like R.J. Cole as far as like just that good-hearted person that's raw with the bars, you know, has poetry and very descriptive in his music. Let me see, who else do I listen to a lot? Obviously Aspect the Aztec, going back up top a little bit, Guru, you know, Gangstar. Guru is just elite, and the fact that he has albums with DJ Premier, you know, like one of the best producers, just captures that raw boom bap sound. So Guru, I mean, what's Immoral Technique? I mean, I think Immoral Technique resonates with a lot of us that just have that our mind on bigger issues in the world, you know, and he's not afraid to speak on these issues, you know. Him, let me see who else. Oh, Chop the Father, DFD Baby Lee. So I mean, I think that's 5. 2 cats from Houston, super dope. Like when I found these cats out there, somehow their music made it onto our radar. It got sent to us, and like these 2 cats are ill as fuck. Bars on bars, like they're super dope. So you know, Evidence, Viva Mescal, Aspect, DFD Baby Lee, Guru, Chop the Father. That's 6. You know, I'll give you an extra one, but yeah, that's why I mainly listen to like on the daily rotation. You know? Yeah.
Well, that's a good list.
Yeah,
bro.
Yeah,
definitely a good list. Yeah, mine's a blend of mainstream and independent, if you want to call it that. I'm big on Merce, King Crooked Eye, Royce. Yeah, you know,
Royce is sick, man, and I think he got even better
with
you
age.
know. Yes, man, Book of Ryan and like that album and number 2. I think he's done 2, right? Like that cat is sick, you know. Those tracks he's done, and that was all with Premier. Some of his best work is with Premier, you know. And it's like
it disappointed me when him and King Crooked fell off. I was like, damn.
Just that whole Slaughterhouse thing, kind of, you know, people like, it soured them, you know, whatever happened behind the scenes. And because I also feel like that it was projected to become something bigger, but I think it was just so many dope cats together. People didn't know how to like embrace that or something, you know, because Shady signed them, you know. Eminem had them signed, you know, so they were supposed to be like that next, not even the next Wu-Tang, but magnitude where holy shit, you got these 4 dudes, Slaughterhouse. But yeah, you know, so I know a lot of them, a few of them kind of, you know.
Yeah, because when it comes when it comes down to talent, if you're talking about a group just based on talent and the resume of what they had, fuck, bro.
Yeah. they were supposed to be, you know, and they're still individually dope, but they just didn't pop off collectively as, you know, Slaughterhouse. But Crooked Eye, Royce, Joel Ortiz, and you know, even Joe Budden sometimes, you know. But yeah. Crooked Eye.
Yeah, bro, like good times. And I call that good times because whenever, and for me, good times is just being in my car and listening to all of this, and you know,
I feel you.
Yeah, I mean, even like when I heard yours and Aspects 25 to Life, right? Like, and I was hanging out with you guys. I'm like, homie, please tell me you guys are gonna perform that.
Right,
like, you know, like bucket list shit.
Yeah,
you know?
No doubt. Appreciate that. Yeah. Chopped up that Havoc, that Mob Deep, you know. Just started raw, like this has to be the street banger, you know. You know, every time I ride, it's 25 to Life. For every ride, my right, And damn, you know, we made that beat. I made that beat, sent it to him. He loved it, and that was one of the first tracks we recorded. But we put it on the second album, and no, I'm glad you fuck with it. You know, because
the homie Cutstone got down on it too.
Yeah, Cutstone would be killing shit. You know, Cutstone's dope. That's another brother. You know, I listen to him a lot too. Cutstone's sick with it. You know?
I was just showing our guy over here, Mike, the video he just put out.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you know, he's got the Azteca Danza right there, the dancer, got the whip. Like, I showed up, made a little cameo. He's like, pull up. I pulled up, and he's talented. Cutstone's talented with the video work, and then obviously Shooter Rick shot that one from. But that's a dope video. I like dope, it. Nephilim. Video. Yeah, check it out. It's already on streaming platforms, or it's on YouTube. So check out Custom Pro Nephilim.
There it is. Yeah. So once again, thank you for being here.
Of course.
But I must ask, how long was your drive here?
Let me see. Right now I live in Koreatown in LA. It was maybe an hour, maybe not. There was no traffic at all. You know, I left early because like you never know, you encounter traffic, but easy breeze. You know, just fast, you know. It was I think it was like an hour. I'm not even sure.
That's dedication. I appreciate you.
Yeah, no doubt. You know, you showed out there to LA and support the show and everything, and I was like, you know, obviously, like, to me, it's it's that don't ask people to do something you're not willing to do. You know, it's like, so I always return the favor and the love, and like, hell yeah, it's nothing. You know, like,
and you got them cats, of course, where I'm sure you've worked with too, where there's just that mutual interest. You know what I mean? And that's where it stands. But with you and I like feel like it's beyond that.
Yeah,
I mean, you know
for sure.
Like we kicked it off. You took me under your wing at Thought Fest when I was by myself.
Yeah, bro, sometimes the best ways, you know, just to connect, it's going by yourself to places sometimes, dog. Because look, to me, I know sometimes people don't go to this show or that show. Nobody wants to come with me. But then now you're tied down, you know, to like, they don't want to leave at this time. They want to leave. Like, I've met most people sometimes when I would show up on a Wednesday, on a Tuesday, on a Friday, on a Saturday by myself. To, hey, I fuck with this artist, let me go, you know, let me show up. And then you meet the artists, you meet people, like, that's how you grow, you know.
It's a great feeling.
Yeah, we're not in our 20s no more where that matters. We're in our 30s, even older. We got to just show up, you know, and that's how the connections are made, you know. Yeah, we can't be, like, thinking, what, someone going to think if I'm by myself? Hell no, that don't even matter, you know. Yeah. Like, you know.
Yeah, so, and I remember the last time I hung out with you, you mentioned this, but we didn't go too far into detail. So you live out there now. You're an LA boy, obviously, at this point. But where were you brought up? Where's your upbringing at?
So when I was born in LA, we moved when I was like 3 to Chino. You know, so Chino, IE. My dad had horses. My dad was a charro. You know, like people be tripping. You know, estoy güero and shit. You know, they don't think that. But I grew up on horses and shit up till what? Cause I was riding horses very young, you know. But my parents got divorced like when I was like 9 or something. So after that, boom, that wasn't my lifestyle no more. But I grew up in Chino in Ontario, and mostly around there. But like in the times where I was growing up there, it was still very influenced by LA and the streets and Graph and the Rebels and like party crews. Like, it was dope. It was it was dope, the era I grew up in the IE and Chino and all that. You know, people don't get that sometimes. They don't understand. You know, if they're from LA, they never really venture to the IE for any reason, you know, and they don't realize how dope it was, you know. It was culture, you know.
It was. Yeah. It's funny that you touched on something because when you shared that with me the last time we hung out, I'm like, damn, I'm gonna ask homeboy about what era and what he saw, and you touched on one of the things that I was big on that kind of. I feel like the same talents that I had back then when I was in my youth, I brought into my adulthood now, which was I was part of a party crew. Yeah. You know,
that's so dope.
I was 17. I was promoting for clubs that were 21 and over, you know?
It was, that era was like that. You could get into clubs, you could meet people's promoters, and it was fun. It was fun to be a part of that.
Yeah, you would just go up to the club owner, hey, this is what I could bring you. Yeah. What do you think? And they'd be like, all right, you bring your little crew for free and advertise it on the phone lines because it was the phone lines.
Yeah, you get the address and the party lines and. You know, damn, did you ever go to Gotham?
I would go to Gotham. I went to Gotham,
shit. Gotham was incredible. Like, it was, when I was going, it was all ages. It was the summer right before I became a senior. Yeah. Incredible. You know, sometimes even adult clubs weren't that popping later on. Like, it was a huge warehouse. Well, it wasn't a warehouse no more, but it was huge. Gotta have the platform dance floors, the DJ booth up there, you know, on like way up there. Like, oh, man, that was incredible. But yeah, party crews and going to parties like I remember just going to, you know, a party in Chino. Then, the party got crashed. La Puente's got a party. Fontana. It was incredible.
You had to go to a payphone and update everybody on the party.
Yeah, right. Yeah. You'd have exactly. We didn't have cell phones or none of that. We'd have to just find it. Man. Yeah, those were good. That was a great era, and we lived the last of that.
We did,
and that's why sometimes, you know, and just to ramble on a little bit, sometimes, you know, like other generations, like, our generation was dope. You guys don't. You guys. Whatever. Your new stuff is different. But I think our generation really can say that because we're the generation before the internet became like life, and YouTube and social media changed everything. We lived it where you still lived life outside, you know, and just did dope stuff, and you'd have to find a flyer and pass it around, and party crews and underground, you know, and ditch parties. Like,
I feel like it was a modified version, a safer version of the 70s era. Because like my parents were from the 70s era, right? hippies, all of that, you know, parties all the time.
They were
You know what I
living
mean?
it up.
They were living it up, and I remember my parents were strict, and they'd be like, "Oh, what are you doing? Dressing like that? Plugging your eyebrows?" Like, homie, what you do? You know what I mean? Like,
Right. Yes, I remember Nas. You know, like has this, something that's like how, like his mom was telling him something. Like how would she know how this lifestyle is if, you know, she was probably in the 70s with platforms, listening, you know, like not talking shit, but like my mom was telling me, oh, you shouldn't be doing that. But she was probably doing it in her day, you know? So obviously, yeah, like our parents probably did some stuff too back in the day and had fun, but then they were trying to be strict on us, you know? But
yeah,
you know,
it was a special time. Like people these days wouldn't understand. Like, I mean, the club runs I would make, it would be, there'd be like right around the corner from one another, and we're talking about like 4 clubs, like in downtown Riverside,
and all popping.
Yeah, all popping. You had this one called Casa Grande, Las Brisas, El Castillo. You know, they were all popping, all of them.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
Oh, man, that because I remember, IE nightlife was popping. You know, like I know a lot of the like. Maybe because I don't go out like that out here, but I remember it was like that. A lot of clubs pop, you know, close to each other. Carlos O'Brien's in San Bernardino, 3 floors, you know, packed.
The Rocks and Riverside.
Yeah, man. Club Metro, a bunch
Club
of,
Metro.
you know, dog. And that was...
And it had a little something for everybody. I mean, Club Metro, if you didn't even have to go clubbing because the club was outside.
Yeah, no,
Sometimes,
it was...
You know what I mean? It was popping.
And it was something for everybody.
It was a huge parking lot. Cruise night. I mean, the club, everyone's partying inside the club, and in the parking lot, everyone's cruising, getting numbers. Hey, homegirl, what's up? You'd get out of the car. Hey, what's up? Let me get your number.
Parking lot pimping shit. You know, where, it was an event being outside of these venues a lot of times.
Until like 3 a.m.
Yeah, people lived it up. People lived it up. It was, the IE had its era of just, it was like anywhere else, you know, like eastern side of LA, you know, like shit was popping out here too, you know? Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, so at this point, now that we brought that up, how would you compare it right now? Like, let's say the hip hop scene in LA versus the IE. I know you're not out here much, but from what you're observing.
I mean, I just feel like since there's so many more people out there in LA, you feel like it's popping more, but it's just that sometimes LA people won't drive out to the IE for an underground show, you know, but they will go to LA. But as far as the talent and everything, it's potent as ever, you know. There's mad dope MCs and producers in the IE and Riverside, Ontario, all of them, all the cities. And I mean, what could I say? The main difference is that it's just, I guess, how much of it there is, you know. There's not, because in LA there's 3, 4, 5 shows every weekend that I know of. Imagine the ones I don't know of, you know, the underground ones. And the IE, I think there's a little less of them, but there is potent movements. You know, obviously Thought Fest is from Ontario, you know, 60 East, Common Ground, Noah James, you know, IE cats. So there's major players out of the IE, but I just feel there's maybe just less events. But there's people making moves for sure in the IE.
We gotta do a lighter fluid LA/IE.
I mean, no, for sure, yeah. We and I've talked about it with my 86 Inka partner Ivo. We got to do something in the IE too, and that'll definitely happen for sure. You know,
I know we touched on just Aspect the Aztec, but I know you guys have done the lighter fluid conferences and all of that, and I mean, just the lineups that you guys have are phenomenal.
Yeah, thank you.
I mean, nothing but like hardcore MCs, nurses.
Yeah, we're very strict on our lineups. Like, we don't do pay to play, none of that stuff. You know, we don't charge artists to perform, and one of the reasons is because we do this for the love of hip hop and quality. You know, wanting to have dope shows where you're gonna, because there's plenty. I think everybody's gone to shows where the openers, this is it's not who I want to see, or they're not really. You know, they put on whoever wants to be on the show, and sometimes some of those shows are cool, but there's other times people that pay to be on the shows aren't exactly, you know, the type of stuff you're there to listen to. So I've always said, like, every artist on our lineups has like potential to be a headliner with you know how talented they are, and then we have artists that do bring, you know, the headliners bring out other fans. You know that sometimes too many shows just have a, you know, like, the underground MCs, but not enough to bring out people,
Yeah.
you know? So we've had, Gavlin, Speak, Coyote, the two brothers. They've been making waves. We had a show with Vel 9. And we have Miss Soto for Lighter Fluid 7 coming up this next Friday. But so I think we try to mix that where, okay, we're going to invest a little bit into getting some headlining talent that's going to attract other fans and even get people within the underground scene to want to show up. Because, okay, well, all these other artists, a lot of them, they know of them, they've seen them live, but I'm going to see them and this artist, cool, now I will show up,
Yeah.
Because a lot of these underground shows are dope, and I'm glad people are doing them and putting in the work. But it's kind of like a revolving flyer. Like, okay, this week these artists, and then the same artists the next week. Like, so that doesn't. It's dope, but it doesn't attract too many outside fans. So it's better to invest a little. Spread out the shows and invest into getting that headliner that will attract more of the fans.
That makes sense.
Yeah, because but I don't criticize nothing. Like, people do it from the heart and put on for a lot of talented Raza MCs and that's dope that there's a lot of shows going on. But
and I must ask, like, how did that go about? Like, you getting the Gavlins, the Vel 9s, and Coyote. Coyote's making a lot of noise.
Yeah.
Those boys are making a lot of noise. I met them at Rhyme Fest.
Orale. Yeah. Oh yeah, they were on that one, right? Yeah. So it's relationships we've had with them or straight DMs. A couple of them. Mezcal knew. Me. I knew one of the artists, two of the artists. I above reached out to Coyote, so it's just either that we knew them or we just hit them up and like, okay, we're. How much do you charge? What do never, you can't hit up these artists thinking they're going to just show up for free, So it's that, just being able to, wanting to invest, and having some sort of platform that you're already doing something, and that, okay, boom, look, this is what we're doing. We'd love for you to be part of it. We're going to, we want to interview, do photo shoot with you and just promote you. And it's always worked out like that. Like, we just, relationships we've had with them or just reaching out, in the proper way,
That's all good shit. Like, damn, bro, just you mentioning that list. That's like, right now, that's a big ticket. Out here.
Thank you.
Each one of them, and congrats on that, bro. Like, it just shows that your hard work continues to pay off.
Yeah. No, gracias. Yeah, we were excited when we had Coyote because they were right there, like bubbling. People already knew about them. They had, gang of followers. I had already gone shouted out by Shaq, and they ended up doing the trap with Shaq. Music video and everything. So shout out, Guapo and Ricky Blanco. Those cats are solid. Got around the solid homies. They're hungry. They're great on content creation because they understand. Okay, this is social media now. Social media is the MTV.
Yeah.
So boom, use it. So that was a big achievement for us to get them because they were real cool, solid, good people, So, but yeah, we've gotten some notable artists, that are Raza,
Yeah, that's good shit. And
thank you.
Originally, I know you're the co-founder of 86 Inka and Lighter Fluid. Well, first of all, let's start with what separates the two.
So 86 Inka is a platform. We promote artists, do interviews. Basically, and I'm gonna use that again, like we want to be like what MTV used to be, obviously, like you do original content and you premiere videos and you're just a music platform with everything that comes with music, throwing events, boom, boom, boom. So 86 Inc is a hip hop platform. Lighter Fluid is an events, not a platform, but throw events, basically shows. Now we have the conference. It'll be our second conference this next weekend. So one is straight up events and community, type of galvanizing, we're going to do a lot more with community events and in ACC is just promotions and music, artistry, promoting, artist focused, Yeah.
And you started 86 Inka first or Lighter?
86 Inka first, yeah. October 2019 is where we really launched it. 86 Inka, and it was like in the beginning, like it became more and more as we grew, like what what it is now, as far as like, okay, every facet of hip hop, of artistry, premieres, interviews, little documentaries and events. But it was like, we thought, we came up with the logo, and then like boom, and just like started posting videos, the artists I was meeting and going to the shows, because I was a fan first of hip hop. You have to be a fan first. So I was going to the shows, going to mezcal shows, and just underground, meeting a bunch of artists I really fucked with. I was like, damn, this is dope. And for some reason, I just like, we created a shirt and then started posting music videos, and it just branched out into that. Like, because certain artists have said, like, you guys filled the void in the hip hop scene that nobody was posting all these artists in one place. So I was like, hell yeah. So I think naturally it became that because it was necessary. I always say, like, certain things, men, people rise because the times demand it. And whatever. So we did that. Whatever level we're at, this is what we became. And so then I met Scott, and we started really doing more stuff together, around kind of coming around each other. And we interviewed them, did a bunch of dope stuff, did a track with them for the first 86 Inka album, Inka Gems, did a video. And I started like, hey, well, what's up with your studio? Could I use it for this? Yeah, boom, boom, boom. You should partner up with me in the studio. Boom. Then we had a meeting one time, like, let's do a show together. He brought that. I was like, yeah. And boom, came up with the name Lighter Fluid, and like, hell yeah. And it just branched out, where he saw what we did. He was like, one of the things that stuck out from you guys, he was telling me way before, like, was that you said integrity, that you push it with things with integrity and you're strict about certain things. I'm like, yeah. And so I think that resonated with him because he has a lot of integrity and he likes to do things quality, so I think that's what shines through Lighter Fluid, that
absolutely.
Quality and anything. Like, we're strict who we put on, and we rather find other ways to fund it than asking artists to pay us, to be on the show. Like, nah, where's the love in that, where's the growth in that?
Yeah, being a huge network and knowing that we're all in it for the same thing.
Right.
You know what I mean? So you did touch on something about, raza and hip hop and all that. What inspired you to showcase the hip hop raza?
I mean, because I know how talented our people are, and we have been overlooked, and it doesn't, there's no reason to be sour about it. Sometimes the machine doesn't want to empower our people, but we've been students of the game for so long that right now we are making the best hip hop, whether we're put on the radio or not, or whatever people want to think you should be on. We are doing the best music right now, like Nas and Wu-Tang and all of them. Hell yeah, they did it, and they still drop music, but it's not like their music they're dropping now isn't like what it was back in the day, where it's still like, whoa, classic tracks, in my opinion. But the people that are dropping music now that I feel are making the best music is Raza, underground, just real MCs. So they deserve shine. Our people deserve shine. And to me, I looked at it like, what do I want to see at these shows? I'm so strict and such a, purist of it. Like, well, okay, then let me, instead of, why don't somebody let me do it? Like that's basically like, let me see it and go for it, because sometimes it's, there's this one quote by Marcus Aurelius, Stoic Emperor: stop arguing what a good man should be one. And that has nothing to do with that I'm being a good man, but what you want to see, you do it, you take it upon yourself. So that's why I'm doing that, however far it goes or not, we're going to take it somewhere, and just got to be passionate about what you're doing, believe in it. And that's what,
like, self accountability will lead to that self gratification.
Yeah, no, yeah, exactly. You doing it, you holding yourself accountable and doing the things that you want to see. Like, obviously, it's gonna give you something, some sort of reward because you're seeing it. Like, the reward is seeing it happen.
Absolutely.
And then whatever else success comes with it. Obviously, it's gonna be the consequence of it. The result of it.
Yeah. And I see the shirt there, which leads me to my next question that I've been wanting to ask you. Obviously, Audio P stands for Audio Pyramid, correct? Or Audio
So I mean, it was so it evolved into that. Before it was Audio Picasso was my name.
Oh shit!
Yeah,
Okay.
you know, and then I was like, my primo Audio P, my cousins, different people just call me Audio P. I think sometimes the best nicknames are given to you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so Audio P, and then and that's crazy that you caught that because it definitely evolved to Audio Pyramid. You know?
Yeah.
It did, because it's like this pyramid represents us, and I think it represents the raza and just gente from all over the place. These structures, these pyramid temples are all over.
Yeah.
You know, and I think it was they were around before kind of like things got colonized anywhere. You know, so that's why we put a sun behind it, like our sun's rising, like our time's coming again, and not to exclude anybody, but for us to shine. So yeah, it's but yeah, Audio P, another couple homies called me Pyramid P, and then I started using that too, you know. So, but yeah, it was Audio Picasso before, and came Audio P, Audio Pyramid, you know.
That's a beautiful description though that you just gave.
Yeah,
you know,
thank you.
How long have you been up on game, or not so much up on game, but like infatuated with all of that, our culture, our roots, the pyramids?
I mean, definitely since I was a kid, you know, and obviously like we're all, you know, we grew up either born over there in Mexico or in other motherlands or here, but you know, sometimes, you know, we come in all shade and colors, but we don't stop being like Mexican. You know, like in our families, we have güeritos to morenitos, every color in between, you know. So to me, that me coming out güero doesn't change the fact that I'm Mexicano, that we come from razas, and obviously we've been mixed down there, you know. But to me, it's beautiful. It's art. It's the structures, the deities, you know, the beliefs, the traditions, the foods. It's who we are, you know. We grew up eating tamales and corn, esquite, all this stuff, you know, just the stuff our people, you know, tortillas. And these pyramid structures the temples were, in their time, they were some of the most marvelous structures in the world, you know. Some, you know, like Spanish came and they found savages. No, Tenochtitlan, the capital city, and many other cities were clean. They had water systems. They had, you know, aqueducts. They had school, free public education. The Tenochtitlan, supposedly, when one of the conquistadores saw it, like, es un sueño esto, like that. He's like, wow, what is this? How is this city possible? Like that, it was the biggest city in its time when the Spanish arrived. And so we don't get credit, you know, our people don't get credit for the greatness of our gente, you know, and the blood we carry. So it matters a lot, because when they disconnect you from your true origins, you forget that you have power, and you believe that you are what they tell us, you know. But we're more powerful than we're led to believe.
That's
man,
true.
You know,
that's true.
Yeah.
We can't, just like we were stating before we got on here, is like we can't be stuck in a box.
No, not at all.
You
Yeah,
know,
that box is a prison, you know. It's and they're above the box watching you, even throwing cheese at it and this and that. No, let's get out of that box, you know.
Yeah, that's crazy. The description you just gave too of, like, you know, how we were discovered, if you want to call it that. But I mean, technically,
did I say that word, discovered?
No, no.
Yeah, they see it as that, right?
Yeah, they see it as that. That's why I said that. But
yeah.
technically speaking, I mean, we're talking about the pioneers of advanced engineering.
Completely.
You know,
bro. No, the Europeans stole so much knowledge, you know, first from the Middle East, Africa, then they came to the Americas. Yeah, so much of the stuff they claimed that they brought, they were shitting on the streets still in Europe, you know, when they came out to first to the Middle East, and then to Turtle Island, which they called the Americas later. We had systems that keep things clean, you know. They weren't bathing, you know what I mean, out the Europeans. Like, yeah, we advanced the world. Our people and Africans and Arab people and Persians, like, they, you know, are the true pioneers,
Like,
you know. Yeah, so our gente too.
It's like every culture has its beauties, right?
Yeah,
You know,
no,
and that's
without a
beautiful.
doubt. Yeah.
I love hearing. I'm a sucker for these kind of conversations.
Yeah, no, believe me, man. I
Yeah.
live off of these type of topics.
So obviously, I think this is gonna be aired after Lighter Fluid LA. What's next for your movement? And wait a minute, before you answer that. I know you're a very significant part of the community. I mean, just with everything you described right now, what other things are you doing right now in which you're contributing? Because I know you're a huge contributor to the cultura. What else do you have going on that hasn't been touched on?
I mean, well, I'm a big advocate for Palestina, Palestine. There are people that have been struggling and resisting colonization for just like our gente way back. They're living that because the people that are trying to take over their land are not from there. They're from Europe. They're from America. They're from different regions. So they're going through the same thing. Palestine is going through the same thing. Our people, but now it's broadcast on your phone all day, every day. You're seeing what's happening. So I'm a big advocate, and I'm not gonna say I'm an activist because there's real activists out there, but I'm out there at the marches. I post about it, so I'm really passionate about Palestine, and it's been almost 10 years, and I feel guilty that I barely found out about it in 2014 because it had been going on forever, you know. So, but I've been marching since then, and we just, when they tell you you can't make a difference, then you know what? If Martin Luther King wouldn't have wanted to make a difference, they'd still be drinking out of different water fountains, and everybody would still be segregated in different schools, and they couldn't be voting. So you can make a difference if you just get out there and speak. And if you don't think you can make a difference, then you're right. And if you think you can, then you're right. So I'm just passionate, and this ain't about me. I don't think I'm a good man, good human. It's just my calling to speak out about certain things and do my part in the whole scheme of things, So that's one of the things.
Very well
I'm passionate.
said. Very well said. So I appreciate that, man. And so what's next? How often are you guys doing the Lighter Fluid conferences? And
so it's looking like 2 a year now. This is going to be our 2-year anniversary. So the first year, I think we did like 4. Then we okay, since we're going to scale it and do the conference now, made it a 2-day, we're doing it 2 times a year now. It looks like it. But it's going to be more of that, more community events where they'll be free. Oh yeah, because the conference is, so we got a grant from the East Side Arts Initiative, from like the Boyle Heights, East LA area. So they are funding this Lighter Fluid. So we were able to make the conference for free, and we're gonna have different workshops, content creation, performance, team building. Mezcal's gonna do that class, and then hip hop history and Chicanos and hip hop, and so it's gonna branch out into doing community activation events, where doing things that are going to be for free too for the public. If we can continue to get funding, the shows themselves, the actual performances, those will always have to be a ticket because we're investing our own funds into that, and then getting some sponsors. But maybe those will become free one day. But the conference is free right now, so from that it's going to branch out to maybe smaller little community activation events.
That'd be amazing.
Yeah, so that's because it's all about the people.
I definitely want to attend one day.
Yeah,
because I feel like I'll learn a lot. I know you guys have a networking event, right? Then you guys have your MC event.
Yeah, if you could pop up next weekend, dog. I mean, come through. It'll be on Saturday, but we're gonna have more of those, and you're always welcome to show up, and maybe eventually have you be a part of it in the teach a workshop or something, like podcasting, like we haven't had that class, so it'd be dope.
Yeah, no, and I must say, I know we touched on I asked you earlier about the comparisons between IE and LA. I grew up here in the IE, and I love the IE, but once I started networking and getting into podcasting, like I said, I love the IE. That's my home, ride or die. Yet, once I started networking with people from your neck of the woods, I was like, damn, homie, this is what Pac meant by to live and die in LA. Yeah. Like now, I know a lot of people say man, Pac wasn't from LA, this and that. But that's when that clicked in my head. Okay, LA, I feel like worldwide has a bad name. Not from experience, just based on what people say.
Yeah.
But once you witness it and you feel the love and you embrace the culture, it's a whole different game.
Yeah.
And you're one of those individuals, bro, that has me saying that.
Yeah. No. I appreciate that because to me, like, since I was born in LA, like that city just has a pull on me. And when I was able to move out, I was like, I'm moving to LA. You know, I gotta be out there. And so I've been living out there for years and years already. And it's where everything's happening. You know, and there's an energy. You know, there's an energy. There's so many other people that are like you and like me that are like hungry to connect and network and create something. And since there's so many venues there, there's millions of people already there, millions and millions of people just around the city. It's so easy just for things to blossom there. Yeah. You know, and that's why I think, and it's a metropolis, you know, in the world, you know, so it's already got the attention of the world. And yeah, I get when people give LA a bad rap and this and that, like it's definitely from transplants. A lot of people that moved from other states and don't appreciate really LA, and maybe those people are hanging out in Hollywood or in certain places where that's not the real, you know, like Southern California people, LA people. Obviously, they live in some of those areas, but the nicer areas of LA, like it's people that really didn't even grow up in Southern California a lot of the time. So it gets a bad rap, it's snobby or the gangs or this. But you know, it's calmed down as far as it's not that crazy in every neighborhood in LA no more. Like K-Town is cool and it used to be more active, and you know, just it's calmed down on that aspect. But LA is where hungry, ambitious creatives are, you know, or meet up, you know. So it's definitely a place to be at and show up, and that's where you're gonna meet other people that are just as hungry, you know.
Absolutely. I mean, that's where I met you.
Yeah,
that's where you're at.
I'm glad we did, you know. I'm glad we met.
Yeah. And to close that out, man, I just want to ask you, obviously, what you have going on. Obviously, this is going to be released after the conference. Yeah. You know, go ahead, put your IG name out there, all of that, and upcoming events or anything, as well as what advice would you give to someone? What's like your main form of advice that you would give to anyone about anything right now?
Okay, so I'll plug the socials first. I'm Audio P at King Audio P, KINGAUDIOP. My platform is 86 Inka, the number 8, the number 6, INKA. And then at Lighter Fluid LA for our events, all the Lighter Fluid hip hop conferences and showcases. I mean, I guess I'll go straight to the advice is, you know, just humbleness, being hungry, showing up places, you know, show up. It's dope, you know, sharing and liking and this and that. But like if you're artists, if you're trying to get the attention of platforms and promoters and podcasts, find a way to really like contribute in any way you can, whether showing up or, you know, like, hey, I can do this, you know, how can we collaborate, boom, boom, boom. But showing up somewhere, somehow, like, oh, you're popping up through the show, let's meet up. Or, you know, how could I help? How could I volunteer? Like, I've volunteered in different places, and Thought Fest, I volunteered before. Like, you got to be willing to not, I'm not going to call sacrifice, but putting in work without getting anything back in that moment right away, because everybody wants to be a part of stuff, you know. But if you're not willing to stand out and put in that just extra, just like, I'm gonna put in my time and effort and put other things to the side, you won't advance, you know. So supporting people by showing up and being an asset. So out of all of that, take that, be an asset, you know. And I'm still growing my stuff, so I try to be an asset, you know. So
I always ask that question. Like most of my questions, they vary with my guests, but that's one that I always ask for one reason: to learn something new. And you throwing in that whole asset part. Yeah, you're absolutely right. It's crucial. It's vital.
Yeah. No, gracias.
No, thank you, brother Lay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Know, IE is one of your homes.
Yeah, gracias. No, Santi, you know, everybody keep supporting this brother. He's real hip hop head, real integrity, you know, and putting in work to, you know, display people, you know, display raza and artistry and entrepreneurship. So, you know, Santi Section, shout out to the studio right here for hosting it. And, you know what it is. I appreciate you. I'm honored to be on here. And we're going to do a lot more.
Thank you, brother.
Sure.
All right.
Thank you.
We'll see you guys next time. Thank you.